So, good afternoon, dear students. Today is 22nd of December 2020, and the students of MA semester 3rd who had opted the specialized paper of population studies, in which there are two papers, and in the second paper there are all the theories related to population and also all the theories related to migration and urbanization. So students, I had completed all those theories, and today I am ending this syllabus or paper with this last views on population, that is Simon's view on population, which is also named as theory of ultimate resources. And deliberately I am dealing with this today because Simon's was of the view that population is no problem, but it is ultimate resource or solution for the any problem. So students, we have to think of that and move forward for our own views regarding the population issues. So let's start with that. Who is Simon? Julian Simon is an American economist who wrote The Ultimate Resources in 1981. And he argued that the supply of natural materials is infinite. As the resource begins to run low, the price will rise. So therefore, people will invent worthwhile time and thought into producing technology that will. So he was a positive economist thinking of a positive view on population studies. So when we're talking about the background of this view, the students, Simon's theory opposed the popular Malthusian theory that population growth would inevitably outpace resource production and result in massive starvation, warfare, and a reduction of the population to sustainable levels. In 1980, Simon famously made a bet with ecologist Paul Ehrlich to prove his theory. So this is the background of this view of Simon, and here you see that Simon is betting with Ehrlich, and Simon bet that the materials price would be lower than it was in 1980, and this man Ehrlich, ecologist, said, I will see you in 10 years. And after 10 years, ultimately Simon won the bet. So I will tell you later on, students. So let us start that issue. Was Simon right? Simon was a very controversial figure. Famously, he bet Professor Paul Ehrlich, author of The Population Bomb, that any $1,000 shopping baskets of raw materials of Ehrlich's choosing would be less expensive by 1990. So this is whole story of 10 years only. And then he said the loser was to pay the winners the difference. In 1990, Ehrlich sent Simon a check for $576.01 dollar. So you can see how earlier economists or researchers used to talk with each other, with factual, with betting, with rigorous analysis. And this is what we have to learn, students. So let us introduce this view. The Ultimate Resource is a 1981 book written by Julian Lincoln Simon, I told you, challenging the notion that humanity was running out of natural resources. And it was revised in 1996 as the Ultimate Resource 2. And telling of the background, the Ultimate Resource is a criticism of what was then the conventional wisdom on population growth, raw material scarcity, and resource consumption. Simon argues that our notion of increasing resource scarcity ignore the long-term declines in wage-adjusted raw materials price. And this was very much important while we are dealing with this view. And he argues that increasing wealth and technology make more resource available, although supply may be limited physically. They may be viewed as economically indefinite as old resources are recycled and new alternatives are developed by the market. So Simon viewed was economically very interesting. And if you see the situation in India in the present time, India is moving towards this. India is innovative many things. India is for recycled process. That means even Simon's view is very much important in the country like India. And he challenged Malthusian catastrophe. He argues that population is the solution to resource scarcity and environmental problems, since people and markets are innovative. This is what I was telling you. And when you would see the overview, that overreaching thesis on why there is no resource crisis is that as a particular resource becomes more scarce, its price rises. And this rise of price creates an incentives for people to discover more of the resource, ration, and recycle it, and eventually develop substitutes. So we have to check this all. And really we are proving this also in the modern times. And the ultimate resource is not any particular physical object, but the capacity for humans to invent and adopt. So this line is very much important, that this ultimate resource is not any particular physical object, but the capacity for humans to invent and adopt. And that's what we are talking of any reform, students. And what is scarcity? The work opens with an explanation of scarcity, nothing its relation to price. High prices denotes relative scarcity and low prices indicate abundance. We all realize this. Okay? So Simon usually measures prices in weight adjusted terms, since this is a measure of how much labor is required to purchase a fixed amount of a particular resource. Since price for most raw materials, for example copper, have fallen between 1800 and 1919, adjusting for wages and adjusting for inflation, Simon argues that this indicates that those materials have become less scarce. So he proved for his theory. And then he comes to forecasting. Students, Simon makes a distinction between engineering and economic forecasting. And let us see what is engineering forecasting. Engineering forecasting consists of estimating the amount of known physical amount of resources, extrapolates the rate of use from current use and subtracts one from other. Simon argues that these simply analyzed are often wrong, while focusing only on proven resources is helpful in a business context. It is not appropriate for economy-wide forecasting. And that's why he challenged this. There exist undiscovered sources not yet economically feasible to extract, sources not yet technologically feasible to extract, and misconceived resources that could prove useful but are not yet worth trying to discover. So Simon challenged this engineering forecasting and come to economic forecasting. To counter the problems of engineering forecasting, Simon proposes economic forecasting, which proceeds in 3 steps in order to capture, in part, the unknown the engineering methods leaves out. Ask whether there is any convincing reason to think that the period for which you are forecasting will be different from the past, going back as far as data will follow? If there is no good reason to reject the past trend as representative of the future as well, ask whether there is a reasonable explanation for the observed trend. And if there is no reason to believe that the future will be different from the past, and if you have solid explanation for the trend, or even if you lack a solid theory but the data are overwhelming, project the trend into the future. So, according to Simon, there's infinite resources. Perhaps the most controversial claim in the book, Simon's book, is the natural resources are infinite. And Simon argues not that there is an infinite physical amount of, say, copper, but for human purposes, that amount should be treated as infinite because it is not bounded or limited in any economic sense, because known reserves are of uncertain amounts. New reserves may become available either through discovery or via the development of new extraction techniques, and maybe through recycling. So really this is working in many developing countries like India. And more efficient utilization of existing reserves. Example, it takes much less copper now to pass a given message than 100 years ago. This is written in Ultimate Resource 2 1996. And development of economic equivalents, example, optic fibers in the case of copper for telecommunications. Already you have witnessed these all facts. That means Simon's view was relevant and still relevant in country like India. And he claims the ever decreasing prices in weight adjusted terms indicate decreasing scarcity, in that it takes less time for the average worker to earn the money required to purchase a set amount of some commodity, suggest an enduring trend to increased availability that will not cease in the foreseeable future despite continued population growth. And this is also historical precedent, and I will not tell you because of the time framework in this YouTube channel, but I have sent you all the PPT on your mail, so you have to read this historical precedent. And also I have narrated here the Simon Ulrich wager, which was the bet part, and then I've come this part that a large section of this book is dedicated to showing how population growth ultimately creates more resources. And the basic argument echoes the overarching thesis: as resources become more scarce, the price rises, creating an incentives to adapt. The more a society has to invest and innovate, ceteris paribus, the more easily the society will raise its living standard and lower resource scarcity. People on average add to a civilization more than they take away. People are the ultimate resource. So this was the final conclusion of Simon's, and this is the Simon's view for the ultimate resources. And students, you have to deal with all the theories related to population studies and think and research through your data collection, through your observation for the country like India. Thank you.